Welcome to another episode of the Most Serious Podcast. And today I have a very distinguished personality with me. And there's just going to be so much wisdom imparted in this episode that, everyone listening comes out a different person post this conversation. I think that is the correct way to introduce you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ripu, for having me. Yeah.
So usually, what I do is we go back to the childhood of the person that's been on the show, and we start from there. Okay, what were you as a child? What did you like? What did you want to do? But I know a little. I did my background check on you, and I know you were big on cricket, and I know that in childhood you weren't the most study prominent kid who was into studies and wanted to do UPSC and all. You were the one who was causing trouble probably in the classroom. So do
Yeah.
you want to start there? I think that's a good starting point. Do you want us to maybe give a little insight on what childhood Mr. Kabilan
Yeah.
had?
I was born and brought up in Chennai. So my parents, both my parents used to work in the government sector. My mother served with the government of Tamil Nadu. My father was with the Syndicate Bank. I was through and through a cricket guy, right from day one onwards. So, and there are several instances where my mother used to chase me from the ground and then get back to studies. Several instances. So then I came back. After my graduation, I came to JNU for my master's and MPhil. But even in my master's and MPhil, also I was very focused on cricket only. There used to be a club. There is a club in Delhi. It's called a Sonnet Club. It's one of the most prominent cricket clubs in Delhi. All the big guys who have played for India were from that club. So I was very
Okay.
kind of glued to cricket and focused. I was playing for my university, playing for my department. One fine day, there was a power cut in JNU, and then I just went to one buyer's room opposite. I asked, there were a lot of books stacked up, and there were two candles, Mombatiyan. भैया what are you doing, क्या कर रहे हो बोल के. Then he said, मैं यूजीसी के लिए तैयारी कर रहा हूँ.
Okay.
यूजीसी पता क्या है? नहीं, इसमें आप पढ़ाई करेंगे तो आपको स्कॉलरशिप मिलेगा. मतलब कितना पैसा मिलता है? 8,000, like 8,000 back that time, maybe around 2002 was big money. And because our hostel fees was around 600 rupees per month.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you stay in a government university, so 8,000 rupees is like as if you have hit some billionaire status kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And pretty cool money. Then I decided that, then one of my seniors said that ye cricket wicket chhod do, start focusing on this. Then eventually, I think after one or two attempts, first, because usme UGC mein there are two levels. Hai. One is NET, National Eligibility Test. This is basically for your research. Basically, post graduation ke baad, whoever wants to do MPhil or PhD, they have to have that. So NET is National Eligibility Test. You get a certificate, and there is maybe 10 or 15, 20 marks. I do not know. Once you hit that 20 marks plus bar, then you get the junior research fellowship where you start getting money.
Okay.
So people make fun in JNU that if you get only net, they will have, matlab, net se kya masli pakdoge, something like that. So basically, machwara banoge type. Net is the level which people say. So eventually, I think after first or second attempt, I got because first two times I got net. Then people you make fun of you and all. Oh, net se kuch nahi hoga. But net is also a level where you can teach people. So,
Yeah.
but then eventually I got JRF. Once you hit JRF, then you are somebody in that fraternity. Matlab, you are part of the gang type. Na? You have got into
Socially accepted
yeah,
now.
socially acceptable हो गया. उससे पहले तो you are sidelined. अरे कुछ नहीं है type. So once you're oh मतलब JRF fan, तो मतलब you are part of a one elite club. Okay, पैसा मिल गया उसके बाद what next? Then they said that no, सरकारी पैसा आपको मिल गया, सरकारी पैसा लेके आपको सरकारी एग्जाम के लिए तैयारी करना पड़ेगा, वो और एक नेक्स्ट पड़ाव है बोल के. वो सब ठीक है. व्हाट विल हैपन टू माय क्रिकेट?
Yeah.
क्रिकेट कभी भी खेल सकते हो, मतलब इसमें मिल गया तो ये हो जाएगा बोल के. Then धीरे 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 I kind of switched streams. I became pretty studious because of the my thing was I switched over because of the financial incentive. Then I started seeing people, what do you say, year after year the civil services result comes and people are मतलब taken on their shoulders and पूरा round हो जाता है hostels में हम मतलब you are given a kind of a celebrity kind of a
Status,
feeling.
yeah.
मतलब वो देखते रहते हैं हम लोग जब because मतलब when you are in JNU you see people the moment you are from, so what do you say, uh, you are a kind of a nobody to somebody you become, because
Yeah.
then you see the power of getting into the civil services. सोच रहे थे चलो हम भी एक दिन बनेंगे बोल के, and बीच में I just saw the 12th fail movie. I just saw it 3 or 4 days back.
Yeah.
Mm, the main protagonist is my batchmate Manoj Kumar Sharma. Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I did not do FC foundation course. One of my batchmates in NITI Aayog, he told me that, अरे हमारे batchmate के ऊपर movie आ रहा है मनोज. अच्छा अच्छा wonderful यार मेरे को, because I did not do FC because I was trying to improve my attempt. Then found out that it's a very what do you say, very inspiring story. And अच्छा लगा that हमारे साथ वाला batch में they have made a movie means he's really good. So that's how the whole thing happened. And I had my own travails bolte hain in JNU, where I cannot say that I have struggled as much as Manoj, but everybody, because beech mein kya ho gaya tha, since I was preparing for UPSC, I did not attend much of classes. I
Hmm.
was the 5 point someone kind of a person. I used to get that only. Uh, I was complete. I have to be extremely blunt. I'm not a academically very sharp kind of a person, but
Yeah.
मैं पास हो जाता. कभी मेरा अरियर नहीं, अभी तक नहीं हुआ. टचवुड अभी तक जब भी एग्जाम ये किया मैं पास हो गया. I've never kept an arrear. So rather, so I'll tell you one more hissa.
Yeah.
Chennai, this was my boards, I think. So in our street in Chennai, all of them are in Silicon Valley. I'm the
Okay.
only Sarkari Karamchari in my street.
Wow.
So the peer pressure is so much that matlab, every year one person is going to what do you say, California or to all those Texas and all those places getting green card. Then next year family is going out. So continuously that movement and migration was going. So there was tremendous pressure during our +2 that आपको भी कुछ उसी lines में करना पड़ेगा because everybody is doing. So I still remember मेरा घर का बगल वाला घर में उषा एंड जयंती sisters, academically brilliant है. I think Jayanti was senior, Usha is junior. Usha is my batch. Jayanti had already cracked everything and she has moved to US. So Usha
Okay.
is following the suit. My mother used to tell me, देखो उषा कितना पढ़ती है, उसका मतलब रात भर मतलब लाइट जलता है and all those things. And I used to tell my mother that उसको कुछ नींद का इशू है, मेरे को नींद मत आता है, मैं सो जाता हूँ. तो उसको प्रॉब्लम है, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ बोल के. नहीं तो बोर्ड एग्जाम है. मैंने बोला बोर्ड एग्जाम मेरे को भी है. आई डोंट sacrifice my health and write board exam. I don't want to fall flat on the exam. मेरे को नींद
Yeah.
चाहिए. And it's scientifically proven that sleep is good for brain functioning बोल के.
Yeah.
So that was my logic, but my parents did not find that great because मतलब अभी भी है, अभी भी people are all slogging for board and JE and all those things and all. But in spite of all those things, I still managed around 88 percentage, but that was not a great percentage for my street. Forget about Chennai or so 88 percentage is ना के बराबर है. Like मतलब net
Okay.
जैसा है 88%. उस time में I'm talking 97. So
Hmm.
88 percentage is nothing है because उस time में ही they have kept the benchmark so high. They were hitting 95, 97 plus 2 में. तो फिर my relatives started mourning as if घर में कुछ ये हो गया. तो अरे क्या हो गया बोल के. क्या होगा घर में अभी, मतलब यही मतलब हमारा चिराग था, ये चिराग बुझ गया अभी। मैं बोला हो क्या रहा है, लाइक व्हाट्स हैपन, मतलब सब ठीक ही चल रहा, पास तो हो गया, मतलब नहीं, उसको देखो, दैट पीयर प्रेशर
Yeah,
बिल्ड्स अप।
yeah.
हम बहुत मतलब बिंदास थे, बिंदास अभी भी है। तो
Hmm.
ऐसे लेटर, मेरे को यूएस नहीं जाना था, मेरे को इंडिया
Hmm.
में रहना है। जिस दिन मेरे को यूएस जाना है तो हम चले जाएंगे। देन आई टोल्ड माय पेरेंट्स, नो नो नो, यू आर जस्ट डाउन प्लेइंग योर lack of preparation and effort. No, I said that
Yeah.
somehow things would work out. I said, don't matlab, chill maro type. I did not fail, I said. No,
Hmm.
I did not flunk. And this in plus two, I got 98 percentage in zoology. So
Wow.
my average was 87. Plus two, I got 98 percentage in zoology, 95 percentage in chemistry. Physics, I got hit. I got maybe 79 or something. Botany also, I scored around 80 plus. So it was a mixed kind of a thing, because
Mixed
I
bag.
pure science, and I was supposed to be a doctor, because in this group you have physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, no mathematics. I'm not a math guy. So I was supposed to be an MBBS doctor. I did write the entrance examination for MBBS, and I landed up in BDS. मतलब उसको सीट
Okay.
मिला,
Yeah.
BDS दांत वाला।
Yeah.
देन रिलेटिव शुरू हो गया, दांत का डॉक्टर बनेगा, कैसे होगा? तो यार हो क्या रहा है इन लोगों को, मतलब खुद को मिल रहा है, नहीं नहीं एमबीबीएस अच्छा है, बीडीएस अच्छा नहीं है। एंड माय पेरेंट्स आल्सो गॉट स्वेट। फिर मैंने बोला, मैंने बड़ा नमस्ते बोल दिया। देन आई
Yeah.
चेंज्ड माय स्ट्रीम टू आर्ट्स। That's how
Okay.
I got into sociology, and sociology was very chill from Loyola. I ended up making great friends, and उसमें भी Loyola College में we had something called LICEX,
Hmm.
Loyola Institute of Competitive Examinations, which prepares for UPSC and other सरकारी exam.
Hmm.
कभी during my 3 years of college I never उस तरफ गया भी नहीं, कभी भी, कभी भी, because most of the time I was either in college, or I was bunking, or I was in the ground. So these three were the only thing which I did religiously. But and I got trained professionally uh, in cricket during my college. So
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah, professionally, thoroughly, pura properly I learned cricket, thinking that हमारा career ये है। एक और किस्सा I'll share with you. So this is plus two board exam से पहले, जब उषा
Yeah.
जैन का एपिसोड से पहले का एग्जाम था, ये था that चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स टीम का जो
हाँ.
मैनेजर, we all play in the same team in Chennai.
चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का मैनेजर.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
ओके.
all play for the same team in Chennai. We have a
ओके.
small team जो अपना एरिया का। तो वो he called me up, and at one time he said that Kabilan ट्रायल्स चल रहा है TNCA,
हम्म.
तमिलनाडु क्रिकेट एसोसिएशन का, खेलोगे क्या? बोला,
हम्म.
सर खेलेंगे, सो अच्छा है। तो व्हेन
हम्म.
आई वेंट बैक होम एंड सेड दैट ऐसा ऐसा है, बोर्ड एग्जाम एक हफ्ता बाकी है, हाउ कैन यू प्ले? My mother was still okay. My father had a different year.
हम्म.
Then I came back and said, Russell sir, मतलब Mr. Russell Radhakrishnan, अभी भी he's with CSK only. Then sir ऐसा ऐसा है, नहीं नहीं अभी एक दो दिन के बाद एक बार जाके just ask, पूछ लेना, maybe they'll have a change of mind, because TNCA,
हम्म.
because that time we did not have IPL and stuff like that. Those time if you play for the state,
स्टेट. या.
you get a government job, railway bank में कुछ नौकरी
ओके.
मिल जाएगा, तो स्पोर्ट्स कोटा में कुछ लाइफ सेट हो जाएगा। Lot of my friends are in railways now who played with me, or through sports quota they have got railway job.
ओके. हम्म.
तो वो अभी भी है, that is still there. तो फिर second time I asked, they said a strict no, and I came back and told him, sir ऐसा ऐसा मना कर रहे हैं, ठीक है कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हम we'll find somebody else, okay हो गया। I think India won the T20 World Cup somewhere in 2007 or 9, I don't
या
recall.
या द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड कप, राइट.
Yeah, T20 जो वर्ल्ड कप धोनी की
या.
कैप्टनसी में
हाँ 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 हाँ
जीता
हाँ.
था। So that time this gentleman was India team's cricket manager।
यो.
ठीक है, तो
दैट्स क्रेजी.
वो धोनी के साथ कप लेके ही वाज जंपिंग ऑन द स्क्रीन। उनका घर मेरा घर के पीछे वाला घर है। ठीक है ना. So my mother was watching and she was asking, ये तो रसल जैसा है बोल के. मैंने बोला रसल जैसा है नहीं, रसल.
रसल ही है.
अच्छा, ये रसल कैसे उधर पहुंच गया. मैंने बोला वो अच्छा फोकस्ड था. तो he himself was a player. He used to play for a team called India Cements. India Cements own CSK. So
Yeah.
ये रसल उधर तक इंडिया टीम तक पहुंच गया. मैंने बोला वही रसल आपका लड़का के बारे में पूछा था. अभी आप ये बड़ा गलती कर दिया हम लोगों ने. मैंने बोला ये कर दिया, अभी उम्र निकल गया, टीवी देखो बोल के मैंने बता दिया. So then my mother felt that we kind of lost that opportunity. Then last time CSK won the cup, so I was watching the match because I'm very passionate about cricket. Then when CSK won, when Raina hit that 6 and 4, I was shouting. Then my wife thought that I had a heart attack and I'm dead at night. क्यों 2 बजे चिल्ला रहा है बोल के. बोला नहीं नहीं यार सीएसके जीत गया. And every time either India wins or CSK wins, I give small gifts to my family because I'm very passionate about the game. So then I gave them gifts also the next day. So I'm very still passionate, and I tell my kid also. I still tell him that because he's interested in football. I said
Yeah.
that I could not represent the country. I'm representing the country now in a different way, but
Yeah.
तुम्हें sports में represent करना पड़ेगा. Because I
Hmm.
told him that feeling of goosebumps when the national anthem goes, it's a totally different feeling. वो unmatched है.
Completely agreed, sir.
तो
Completely agreed.
मतलब whenever India plays and you have the whole stadium, that you मतलब आपको कितना भी हजारों crores देने से भी वो feeling आपको नहीं मिलता. That is once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of that team is a great thing. I keep telling my kid that कैसे भी तुम खेलो, I am ready to support.
Yeah.
कैसे भी वो इंडिया जर्सी तेरे को चाहिए. मतलब I missed it, but you have to have that thing. So
Sir, I
that's
feel
the whole.
कि yeah, I think hearing all of your experiences in this, मतलब मेरे को लगता है कि the biggest like it shows on your face as well, like how you are still so connected with the sport and that that just that rush. And I am a huge sports fanatic. I play football. I used to play cricket earlier, then I switched to football. But there's just that feeling of sports, that euphoria, that enthusiasm, that energy that keeps you young at heart. Even though, like, I can see that in you right now as well, that you are such a, joy to be around when there's a sports match going on, and you will be so invested into it. I think that do you feel like if people don't have that in their lives moving on, like as everyone ages, so having something like that in your life really helps you individually, like, make better decisions or just be a better functional human being overall? Like, how do you view
You
this?
see, yeah, see, personally, you feel that you're fit actually. Abhi bhi I play. I'm less of a cricket player and I've completely switched to badminton now. I play badminton throughout the year. Every day I play. So if I'm not playing, maybe in case of कुछ घर में कुछ commitments हो गया तो else though I always sneak out to play at least 1 or 2 hours of badminton. Mm. It keeps you see mentally very sharp because once your dopamine flows in the morning, it really keeps you sharp for the day. And I'll tell you one more thing. I cleared in my fourth attempt of what do you say civil services. Every attempt से पहले वाला रात I used to play badminton prelims से पहले.
Okay.
So and I see whether my shots are going well or not. If my
Hmm.
shots are all going well, that means मेरा तैयारी अच्छा है. जिस टाइम मेरा शॉट ठीक से नहीं बैठ रहा है, इट्स नॉट गोइंग माय बैक हैंड और स्मैश और ड्राइव ठीक से नहीं जा रहा है, उस टाइम आई नेवर क्लियर.
Hmm.
So I do not know, it's a very strange correlation for me. It is applicable to me only, that whenever I play, my preparation and play and performance are all linked.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that a fit body gives you a greater fitter mind rather than a lazy person. And you are supposed to be agile and mobile. You cannot matlab, sit for long. And sitting, they say that it's the new age smoking. So I
Yeah.
don't sit in my office also, my bosses also, अरे आप बैठते नहीं हो. मैंने बोला सर आप मुझे फोन में कॉल कर लीजिएगा because मेरे को बैठना पसंद नहीं है. I don't sit. I keep moving around with my juniors or my sections. I keep moving. I don't sit in a place because sitting it makes you very, what do you say, physically very senile. Once you sit,
Hmm.
your activity of your lower part is compromised. Then
Yeah.
problem ho jata hai. So you're not supposed to sit for long. If you're sitting, it's not good. Yes, physical activity really helps in your overall perspective of life and your office performance also, whatever job you're doing.
So how do you like, because you are a person who's experienced it, from a different era. So you gave your civil services exam probably early 2000s, and the resources available at that time and the opportunities available are vastly different from the current scenario. Okay, so because I find I am currently 23, and I find people across this generation. So everyone is like, they are confused, nobody knows what they want to do at the end of the day, but there's still that prominence of that exam because of the status quo, and of course the opportunities that it brings. But do you feel there has been a transition into the importance or the relevance or just the prominence of that exam in your days to the current time?
See, UPSC is called unpredictable public service commission
Okay.
because every year the pattern or something else keeps changing. You
Hmm.
can't predict it. The complexity remains the same. Okay, the only saving grace is that of late, for the past 10 or 12 years, the number of vacancies has gone up. In our case, I still remember where there were only 400 something vacancies. Now there are
Hmm.
1,000 plus vacancies, but all said and done, the complexity, and they've tweaked a little bit. There is no more, what do you say, prelims. Now it is CSAT. There is an ethics paper and all those things. They have tweaked a little bit, but all said and done, the kind of opportunities which civil services gives you, you can't get as a consultant working with the government. Because
Hmm.
in NITI, we interact with a lot of people from the consultants who join, but the experience in training, the kind of exposure, kind of work you get, civil services, no match about it. The only hitch or what do you say, glitch I can say is that पेंशन पहले था, अभी
Hmm.
पेंशन नहीं है. 1/1/2004 के बाद जो भी ज्वाइन किया है, they don't have
Yeah.
pension. So
Hmm.
that's the only negative to it. But apart from that, it still has got all the glamour as well as the learnings. And if you want to really help somebody, you can do it. And one more thing, I use this opportunity to tell all the viewers in this podcast is that just 1 second. So there was a mm, time where people appeared in these examinations without knowing what order of preference to give. फॉर
Okay.
एग्जाम्पल, सबको पता है आईएएस है, फॉरेन सर्विस है, पुलिस सर्विस है. उसके
Hmm.
बाद क्या है? So there are 18 services, and 18 services which are Group A. There are 2 services which are All India services, and there are Group B services also. And every service is different and unique. So बाकी सर्विसेज के बारे में पता नहीं है, हर एक
Yeah.
सर्विस के बारे में promotional aspects पता नहीं है. So I
Yeah.
did a little bit of R&D on this, and I published a small book. This is for people who are very serious, and this is only for people who clear the first level, because
Okay.
first level करने के बाद, in the second level, in your detailed application form, you fill your order of services. Order of services में हर एक सर्विस का प्लस माइनस क्या है, you don't know, because
Hmm.
you just fill it because of hearsay. किसी ने बांजी ने बोला है, किसी भैया ने बोला, किसी दीदी ने बोला, ये ऑर्डर नहीं, हम भी ऐसे भरे थे.
Yeah.
In JNU also, some senior said that भर लो, बोल के भर दिया, because top 3 छोड़ के नीचे का इसमें कुछ आइडिया ही नहीं है. So फिर
Hmm.
बाकी after you enter in the service पता चला that there are some services which are as faster in promotion as IAS. We did not know.
Hmm.
For example, audit and account service with the CNAG is as fast as IAS in promotions, which we did
Hmm.
not know when we filled the form. Else, though, we would have put that ahead, getting it. So, इसीलिए then what I decided that I made a small research and then I published a small book called UPSC Service by Choice.
Okay.
Because you should, when you fill the form, it should be an informed decision
Yeah.
rather than by hearsay. So every service ka plus minus kya hai, all those analysis has been done. That is available on Amazon. So anybody who's seriously interested, don't jump into the UPSC bandwagon that मेरा parents ने बोला है, किसी ने बोला है. Don't do it. If you really feel that it's up to you, the drive is inside you, then only for serious candidates. And ये टाइम पास वाला गेम नहीं है because it takes, it's a mental marathon है, because it takes good 3 to 4 years of your life. If you make it in the first attempt, nothing like that. Else though, because there'll be a big gap in your resume, you'll find it very difficult to justify at some point of time when you're switching.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point.
So what do you have to say to those aspirants or people, looking to get into the space? Um, जैसे आपने भी कहा कि ओनली फॉर सीरियस पीपल, ओनली फॉर पीपल हु एक्चुअली हैव मेड दैट चॉइस दैट आई वांट टू डू दिस, ओके, फुल हार्टेडली. बट हाउ डज वन डिसाइड दिस? Am I ready for this choice? Or let's say if someone is a little bit confused and they're not satisfied with their job and they see UPSC as an option, for some, they think that they have the ability, but how do they decide that, is this truly for me? Because the success rate, the acceptance rate is, probably one of the lowest in the world. So how do you make that decision, taking that plunge in, that is this my time for the leap of faith?
बहुत 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 ही simple है, very simple. We used to go in DTC bus when we were studying in JNU. अभी भी जब आप देखते हो कोई सिग्नल में some old lady or somebody is knocking on your window shield or they're asking for money, if you think that you want to help them, then you are built for civil services.
Hmm.
Or if you are a businessman or a businesswoman, if you think then you can contribute, you can still contribute. But if you want to contribute through the government, if you see these things happening in front of you and you have a very strong urge to help them at some point of time, then you can definitely join civil services. And the best part is that it should be ulta preparation. Ulta preparation मतलब पहले mains का तैयारी करना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
Normally people, I've also done the same mistake. I started with prelims because prelims clear करने के बाद mains में अटक जाएंगे तो you're gone. So mains
Hmm.
have to be, because prelims is only, क्या बोलते हैं, prelims is elimination.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is where you get selected. So I still remember in UPSC when I wrote my, I think, second attempt, my roll number was 000089. This is 2002.
Okay.
I remember my roll number very clearly because I still remember the invigilator came to me. 2002, I was 22 years old. So the invigilator came to me, was he just hushed me in my ear. बेटा पता है इस हॉल में सबसे छोटा उम्र आपका ही है. एग्जाम अच्छे से लिख लेना बिकॉज आगे बहुत ऊपर तक जाओगे, इस बार आपका क्लियर हो गया तो.
Okay.
Problem with me is that उस टाइम राइटिंग सिविल सर्विसेज मेंस इन यूपीएससी वाज अ बिग ड्रीम, बहुत बड़ा
Hmm.
अचीवमेंट था. तो हम लिखते लिखते आई वाज पिंचिंग माई सेल्फ, मैं लिख रहा हूँ, मैं लिख रहा हूँ, मैं लिख रहा हूँ, उसी सोच में खत्म हो गया वो.
Yeah.
then only you come to know that मेंस भी एक पड़ाव है, उसको भी क्लियर करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद इंटरव्यू. I was
Hmm.
completely overwhelmed. As if you have seen what do you say, Amitabh Bachchan or Dhoni sitting next to you. मतलब you have the fanboy moment type, na?
Yeah, you lose your focus. Yeah.
You are completely overwhelmed. For me, UPSC was like that. I was completely like a fanboy moment हो गया. UPSC में बैठ के हम लिख रहे हैं, वाह वाह वाह, उसी में सब हो गया. तो बाकी सब लोग अच्छे से लिख रहे थे, मतलब मैंने बोला हाँ जो भी है, तो आई वो हो गया था. देन फिर next attempt again I could not clear. Then my fourth attempt only I spoke with all my seniors who have cleared. They said that this is what you have done right, this is what you have done wrong. फिर सब set करके then I cleared in that fourth attempt. So basically what I did was like I prepared ulta pura mains ko tayari pehle kiya, where I did a lot of practice tests. Then I kept enough time for my prelims. Then I cleared prelims, because then by the time you clear prelims and you write mains, it's hardly 2.5 3 months. उस टाइम में आपको रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा, because people do the mistake of starting their तैयारी for mains during the 3 months period. वो आपका मेंस का तैयारी 1 साल पहले ही रेडी होके रखना पड़ेगा पूरा का पूरा. एंड द 3 months पीरियड बिटवीन योर प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस इज ओनली फॉर रिविजन, नॉट फॉर फ्रेश तैयारी. फ्रेश तैयारी इज लाइक इट्स हाराकिरी, यू आर गॉन, गेम ओवर. you can't you can't move ahead in the 3 months. You can't clear prelims. So until unless you're absolutely genius,
Already prepared.
absolutely,
Yeah.
you are matlab, you should have a solid foundation. You have done, then it's okay. Very very rare scenario that doesn't happen. So that's what I tell people. If you have to be really matlab, prepared for this mental marathon, एक साल तैयारी, and anybody can do it, because this is a exam built and made by humans. It is not made by aliens. So human beings can clear it, and it is for humans only, to serve humans also.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
So do you feel like, because I think you had a childhood in which you weren't always very academically inclined to give these exams, and you weren't always thinking that I will go on and do something in academics from the get go. You were into sports and all. So you were a little bit detached from this whole scene of, maybe getting first rank, or, just being the best student in the class. So sometimes I feel that people, or just children or students in general, who've done very well in their lives, okay, topped their classes, schools, universities, and all, and they get into the UPSC preparation mode, and they don't clear it probably in the first attempt. So for them to handle that level of failure is really like a big blow on their self-esteem. And for most of the people, I feel, if someone hasn't had that level of detachment, because if you're always being conditioned to become the first, or just strive for the best, and then you don't clear it, I think it really blows your self-esteem up. So how do you
Yeah.
kind of navigate? What advice do you have for those students or children who aren't used to failures? Because I think you are very comfortable with failures. That's your kind of USP for success. But how do you tell this to them?
See, there is a very simple management analogy which says that if the monkey wants bananas, give bananas, don't give tomatoes.
Hmm.
The problem with people who are matlab, kind of the overachieving self is that, no, I have got that earlier and I'm going to do that again. So you try to feed the monkey tomatoes, and monkey doesn't like tomatoes. सीधी सी बात. So UPSC may be same, the rules apply. The exam asks you only this much. You might
Hmm.
be a topper in, say, IIT or IIM also, but you need to reduce what exactly is needed, because at the end of the day, you are supposed to be a problem solver, and you should have officer like quality, OLQ. That is what is required. We
Hmm.
don't need an IQ and a Mensa score of 300 plus. जरूरत नहीं है. आपको problem solve करना पड़ेगा ऑफिस में या public life में. You need to solve problems. That is what the commission expects you. That is what has been tested at different levels. So if you are academically good, you have to really tone it down. जो भी question पूछ रहा है उसका जवाब आपको देना पड़ेगा. Because
Hmm.
that has happened with me also, because I have studied sociology so much, because BA, MA, MPhil, and I'm a JRF holder. I always tend to get less marks in sociology because I know more.
Oh, okay.
वो विदाउट योर नॉलेज ना, वो पेन से फ्लो हो जाता है. अरे इतनी सी है, इससे ज्यादा हम लिख देंगे, मार्क्स कम हो जाता है. बट इन
Hmm.
ज्योग्राफी तो जिंदगी भर मैंने कभी नहीं पढ़ा है, सिर्फ यूपीएससी के लिए पढ़ा है. माय नंबर वाज ऑलवेज गुड.
Hmm.
So that's what, that mental moderation has to be done. If you are a topper, absolutely fine. But what exactly the UPSC wants? It's like, for example, if you put UPSC as the, what do you say, the mental monkey. If the monkey wants banana, simply you give banana. जो पूछा है उसका जवाब crisply दे दीजिएगा. Don't give, जरूरत नहीं है तो you get hit. So that's what happens. So you need to really draw your own Lakshman Rekha in your answers. You have to structure it very well. You have to practice it very well. See, they say that जब भी आपका आंसर लिखते हैं, an 8th standard वाला बच्चा should be able to read and explain it to his classmate.
Hmm. Okay.
on any topic. It can be
Hmm.
India's what is it, nuclear policy. It can be India's science and tech development. It can be about India's fintech ecosystem. जो भी आप आंसर लिखेंगे ना इतना सरल होना चाहिए because you need to have a simplified solution. उसमें complexities नहीं लेके जाना है because there
Hmm.
are already problems in life. There are
Yeah.
problems in office. You need to solve it. You don't have to create problems. If you create problems, you lose marks. सीधी सी बात.
Yeah, that's such a cool way to look at it. मतलब sometimes I feel sir कि ये this game of unlearning things, like हम एक साथ, like we always get into this habit, and also probably our conditioning is like that, that you always keep taking into your, keep hoarding knowledge or keep hoarding just stuff around you. We don't learn to kind of take a step back and realize, do we actually need this, or is this important here? Like we lose that sense of objectivity which you're talking about, कि अगर मेरे से कोई पूछ रहा है, what is this, so if I know a lot, then my natural urge is to just bombard them with the level of knowledge that I have, overwhelm the other person with that. I think that is somewhere where it gets lost, and probably, as you mentioned, that people tend to suffer from that.
Because once you have so much of information, your brain becomes obese. You are unfit on your head.
Wow,
So
that's
you
the
have to be
first time
very
I've heard
lean
this.
and mean. So you have to be lean and mean not only in your body but also in your brain. Helps a lot.
So how do you have this infectious energy and this constant, like you are very, I just feel like you don't overthink. I don't think you probably have anxiety or something like that. And kids like nowadays, probably, early professionals, 25-year-old, 23-year-olds are on anxiety meds, sleep deprivation. And you just are a very cool, calm head, just relaxing, having this conversation with me. I think the next post getting up from here, you'll do that other thing and you'll be completely invested in that. How do you have this?
Yeah, life mein, one of my financial mentors, he said that मजा आना चाहिए in whatever you do. और लोड नहीं लेने का.
Hmm.
ठीक है ना? So you have to enjoy every moment of your life because you do not know, because we never expected COVID to happen, right? So
Yeah.
so you have to enjoy each and every moment of life. And वो मतलब one of my mentors, he told me that सोने से पहले you have to close your eyes and say that आज बहुत मजा आ गया.
Hmm.
So whatever you are doing उसमें मजा आना चाहिए. And if you are not having maza, that means you are not in the right space and right spot. Then you should change yourself. वो मतलब वो famous इसका जो Steve Jobs का है ना वो interview है. So you have to love whatever you do and all those things. Basically वो मतलब देसी स्टाइल में बोलना है, आपको मजा आना चाहिए. If you are not having maza, you have to change whatever gives you maza. And the best part is that जो भी आपको मजा देता है, there is no what do you say, work life difference. For example,
Hmm.
विराट कोहली को क्रिकेट में मजा आता है and it he has converted his maza into money. If you are able
Hmm.
to convert your maza into money, your life is set.
Yeah.
That transition has to happen. फिर you
Hmm.
will never be working, you will have maza only, then money will flow.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. That,
equation is
that
pretty simple.
So do you think about, like, how different your life would have been if it weren't for UPSC? Like, if, let's say, we always never know. In retrospect, we can connect the dots from, that's this happened, that's why my life went this way, this way. But let's say if you weren't into UPSC, if you weren't doing all of this, where were you find yourself?
I would be in IPL, Baba.
Oh, nice.
और क्या, कहीं ना कहीं किसी के साथ हम खेलते रहेंगे अभी. वो जो आया ना, तांबे टाइप होंगे हम लोग भी. तांबे तांबे वाज एन अनकैप्ड प्लेयर ना. So
Yeah.
he entered at 40 plus. So I would have been definitely would have been sure in one of the IPL teams for sure. Pakka.
Sir, you are, I think there's just a certain youth inside of you. I also want to know this from you, that do you think that, when deciding what you want to do in life, like let's say you were very good in sports and liked sports and you are very clear, you're an objective individual. But how does an individual really identify, like you said, अगर मेरे को मजा आ रहा है काम करने में, But what's the way for someone to really know कि मेरे को which field should I try to get into? What should I, because 17 की age में no one knows I want to be this, that, or though everyone is experimenting. But then most of the times people tend to stick to their first job and just, keep doing that for the rest of their lives. And probably at the end of their lives, they're like, I just kind of wasted it or didn't utilize my potential or not. So how do you try to identify yourself? How do you try to choose what's good for me?
एक किताब है, इट्स कॉल्ड फ्लो
Hmm.
बाय सीजन मिहाली. इट्स अ वेरी, यू हैव टू गूगल इट, इट्स अ वेरी फेमस बुक. बेसिकली वो क्या बोलता है वेरी सिंपल टर्म्स में, जब आप फ्लो मोमेंट में हैं, यू इन वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग, यू यू लूज द सेंस ऑफ टाइम. जो भी
Hmm.
आपको पसंद काम कर रहे हो, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई लाइक टू प्ले क्रिकेट और बैडमिंटन, आई विल नॉट नो द सेंस ऑफ टाइम. आई वुड हैव प्लेड फॉर 8 hours, but that would have been like only half an hour or 1 hour. So
Hmm.
anything which you like, if you're doing, the moment you lose the sense of time, that means you are in the zone.
Hmm.
The only thing is you have to find where you are spending those good quality hours, and whether you can convert your, what do you say, passion into profit. It can be
Okay.
anything. It doesn't have to be UPSC, or it doesn't have to be sports. It can be art, it can be painting, it can be drawing, it can be acting, anything. Problem is that in Indian society we have a template made that इस साल में ये करना है, इस साल में शादी करना है, इस साल में इसको बच्चा होना है, इस साल में इसके बाद ये से करना है. वो टेम्पलेट को तोड़ना पड़ेगा, because we
Hmm.
are all slaves of that template, we are all
Yeah.
slaves of that conditioning. So that template needs to be broken. And we need, thankfully, with YouTube coming, there are people who are making a lot of money from YouTube also. There are n number of ways to make money online if you're
Yeah.
able to give good content. So the template is the one which is there in people's mind, and we cannot, our parents or unka parents also wanted the best, but the template has become old. There are n number of ways to make money. The only thing is that you need to take a little bit of risk, because people are very reluctant to take that risk, because of the
Hmm.
fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But always zindagi mein, people who have taken risk only has moved ahead in life. So if you don't take that risk, and because especially when you are young, if you take the risk, you still have time to react. For example, in my case, I'm still a pretty huge risk taker at my age,
Hmm.
because I
Okay.
love risks. So
Hmm.
because risk नहीं लेगा तो life में मजा ही नहीं है. So
Yeah.
I take risks everywhere. If people say
Yeah.
that, oh, you have a family and all. Yes, I have a family, but I'm still taking serious risks in things whichever I'm doing.
Hmm.
So because risk में ही वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो एज वाला फीलिंग नहीं है, नहीं तो बहुत बोरिंग हो जाता है लाइफ.
Monotonous. Yeah.
I don't like monotonous life. I love being on the edge, and yeah, because you live, because मेरे को वो dopamine high में always रहना है. I don't take drugs, but I take the natural drugs which are inside the body, so it keeps you really good.
So what does a day in your life look like? Like I think this would be a question jo maybe inspiring for people preparing for UPSC or exams like that. But in general, I think across the variety of people who listen to this show, just by your energy levels and just by the outlook on your life, I want to really know how does your day look like on a Monday. How does it start and how does
My
it
day
end?
starts at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
It starts at 4. I do a little bit of reading till 5:30. Then from 5:30 to 6, yoga. Then I wake my kid. Then again I read from 6 to 7. Then from 7 I go to badminton. I come back by 8:30. Then I start getting ready for office. Then office time is from say 9:30 to 6. Then I come back home. I spend time with family, maybe evening, jo bhi 2 3 hours. Then I walk my dog in the morning also. So then I sleep early. I sleep pretty early. Say around before 8:39, I'm out.
Oh,
So
okay.
so that helps, because you have to get up early.
Yeah,
So, and we don't have a TV at home.
that's
So
crazy.
we don't have a TV at home, and I'm out of WhatsApp also. The only social media app I'm on is on LinkedIn. So
You're
I
off
have
the
my
grid.
Yeah, I'm completely off the grid, barring LinkedIn. So it take, because at the end of the day, your life is made out of time, and
Hmm.
you have to decide how you spend your time. And too much of social media takes all the time out of your life. If all the time out of your life is taken, then your life is literally taken out. So
Hmm.
you have to have some kind of control. And I do a lot of journaling also. I'm kind of a hour freak. I keep a very close watch out on my time, how I spend my time, where I spend my time, with whom I spend my time. Most of the time I spend for myself, um, improving all the areas, being in my skills or in my game. And फिर उसके बाद I spend time with my family, then maybe a little bit of socializing. That's it. This is how
Sir,
I.
I think whenever someone hears this schedule, okay, so like my natural instinct after hearing this was, यार कल से मैं भी ऐसे ही कुछ ट्राई करता हूँ. Okay, I'll try to wake up early and I'll try to go to bed at time and I'll have less time spent on social media. But mostly in my experience and probably in others as well, so whenever you try to make a schedule for your life, आप 2 से 3 दिन उसको अच्छे से फॉलो करने की कोशिश करोगे. प्रॉब्ली वेकअप वेंसडे तक आप 5 बजे उठ रहे हो. But then Thursday comes when that schedule starts becoming thoda sa like a normal routine. Then you start slacking off, and before you know it, you're back to your usual ways. So how do you consistently, like, how do you keep on this consistency of sticking to a schedule?
Make a journal, no? Make a journal.
Hmm.
Make a journal, because once you don't write things, na, things will slip out of your hands. Make a journal. Have a target every month or have a target every week. Make a journal that मैं इतना घंटे इतना इसके लिए यूज करूंगा ही करूंगा. And monitor it. Data speaks. Data points बहुत जरूरी है. If you have
Yeah.
your data points, then you will have accountability, self accountability. Forget
Hmm.
about accountability to God or to family. You have to be accountable to yourself.
Hmm.
Self accountability comes when you journal. आप journal करोगे. I've been journaling now for almost 20 years now. So
Wow.
so it helps me a lot. And मतलब whenever I am going slightly outside somewhere, मैंने बोला भैया फिर तो उसके लिए आपको compensate करना पड़ेगा. You'll have to miss जहाँ भी, because there will be always some black swan events during the day. कुछ ना कुछ unforeseen events आ जाता है. You'll have to cushion those in your schedule also. There will be
Hmm.
some emergency coming. You cannot have a daily routine like that. So you'll have to uh, have those kind of space oblique cushion in your schedule. Then things would be fine. You have to be very consistent, but journaling helps you to be consistent, um, because I read somewhere that the the flip side of success is discipline. If discipline and success are two sides of the same coin, you cannot get success without being disciplined.
Hmm.
And only when you maintain a journal and you stick to your routine again and again and again, consistency जब तक नहीं आएगा, आपको success नहीं मिलेगा. And if you are inconsistent, you can't even think of being successful.
So my like this is just the last kind of question.
Yeah.
Two questions. Let's just divide it into those. First would be, if someone is starting out their UPSC journey today, what advice, what 3 bullet points, or whatever in your words would you like to say to them if they were to hold that mantra throughout their journey, increases their odds of succeeding.
See, for UPSC candidates, I will tell that um, do the ulta preparation first. Prepare your mains properly, and if needed, take a year's break. If you have given an attempt earlier, take a break for 1 year. Then you give the attempt. Don't be with the flow that, oh, my friend is giving, she's giving, or he's giving. You don't sacrifice, because at the end of the day, you need only one position there. You need one vacancy against your name to come in the final list. So take the break and be very strategic, and don't give more than 2 attempts, and give breaks adequately and prepare. I think that would help, rather than being like me. I took all 4 attempts at one go. It was very, very mentally draining. It's very difficult. So because I did not know that time, and there was nobody to kind of guide us, we were just like, वो बकरा जैसा कर रहे थे, वो कर रहे थे, हम भी कर रहे थे. We were not thinking actually that time. So that's what I could tell for UPSC aspirants. Yeah.
And for sir, people, most likely young professionals talk, coming out of college, starting their first jobs, just figuring out their own lives for the first time, becoming that person, becoming the real, adulting as we may call it. So, what advice do you have to these young professionals, people just starting out their lives in general, how to have a life which you are proud of, or how to have a life, which serves society as well?
See, there's nothing like experience. Even if you're getting a lower paycheck, please take it. Don't expect that उनको उतना salary मिल रहा, उनका उतना package मिल रहा, उनका 14 ये मिल रहा, 15 lakh मिल रहा, so on all those things. Nothing like experience. Take your experience and enjoy. Eventually, you'll get those opportunities to climb up in life.
I think very wise, very objective. Thank you so much, sir, for spending time with us today. A lot of insights into this episode. I love talking to you, and I feel supercharged. Before this, I just had my lunch late, today, like brunch kind of today, and I was like a little bit thoda sa sleepy. But post this conversation, I'm like full of energy. I'm looking for the next thing that I can do.
Be that of some help to you and to all the listeners. Even if 1 or 2% goes into the right set of people, I'm happy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, sir.